Hi, it's Richard Moore from Racing Profits Guides, and we're just here at James Given Yard, and we've bumped into James Sullivan, who's riding out for James today, and we just thought we'd have a quick chat with him about some of the all-weather tracks that he rides. So nice to meet you again, James.
Good to see you.
You all right?
Yeah, good.
Good. We'll just go through a bit of your history if we can first, before we go on to the courses. Can you just tell us a bit how you came into racing, and some of the trainers you've worked with over the years, and what brought you over to the UK?
Yeah, well, I started in Ireland in the racing academy. And
had you always been riding before that?
I'd run ponies, show jumping and things like that beforehand. I just went there for a year and learned about racing, then went to a yard in the Curragh in Kildare and worked there for 4 years.
Who did you work for at the Curragh?
A trainer called James Burns.
Oh, right, yeah.
I had about 10 winners in Ireland.
Oh, right, good.
And then
all on the flat, or did you do any jumps racing?
I did a bit of jump racing. I was only light. I was very light, so I had three rides over hurdles. It was just for experience, and I enjoyed it, but I stayed on the flat.
Stayed on the flat, yeah. And then you came over here. How long ago did you come over here?
Came over here about 3.5 years ago.
And have you been a stable jockey with anybody, or have you sort of been freelance since you've been in the UK?
Well, when I came over as an apprentice, I was signed up to Michael Easterby.
Oh, right, yeah.
And I gained a few contacts then with Ruth Carr and James Given and a few different trainers around Morton and that.
And so that's sort of built up a few trainers for you to ride for. And that's mainly who you ride for now, is it? James, obviously, here, and Mick. Do you still ride for Mick Easterby?
Yeah, still ride a bit for Mick Easterby and still for Ruth Carr.
He had a couple of winners the other day for Ruth, didn't
you?
Yeah. At Thirsk, yeah.
So,
and then you ride on, obviously, the flats here in the turf, and you do carry on right through the winter, don't you? You go through.
I stay in for the winter and ride in the all-weather as well.
And predominantly it's Sutherland, Wolverhampton is your area, but you do go down south a bit, do you?
The occasion, I go down to Kempton and Linkfield, but mostly Wolverhampton and Sutherland.
Yeah, and you've had a lot of success. How many winners have you had this year?
I've had 9 before on the all-weather, and then I've had 16 then for the whole year. So I've had 6 on the turf.
6 on the turf already. Yeah, that's very good. Okay, thanks for that. Right, Jimmy, let's talk a bit about Nottingham Racecourse. You've ridden there quite a bit in your career so far.
Yeah.
How do you find Nottingham? A lot different, I suppose, to Pontefract, a lot flatter.
Yeah, it's a very flat track, good galloping track.
Quite a fair course, though.
Quite a fair track, yeah. It's a big long straight. I think it's over 4 furlongs a straight.
Yeah.
And tight.
Wide, isn't it?
There's plenty of room in it, yeah. And tight bend on it, but it's cambered, so it seems to ride pretty well.
The top bend coming into the home straight, yeah, it is. They've cambered that deliberately, I think, because they were saying it was really tight before.
It is tight, but it seems to ride, when they cambered, it seems to ride pretty well.
The horses seem to stay balanced as they come round.
Yeah.
Do you get much trouble in running on that bend?
You can do, yeah, because some of the outside, if you're not up beside a horse, they can kind of, if they've nothing to run against it, float down into the rail.
Float down into it,
just because the way it's cambered, but
it sort of brings them naturally inwards.
Yeah.
And what about the sprint races there? Because they've obviously got the straight 6 furlong and 5 furlong. They've got an outer course and an inner course, haven't they?
Yeah, well, the straight 6 and 5
on the outer.
Pretty quick, on the outer. Yeah.
Is it a quick course?
It seems to be a flat track, fairly sharp. I mean, you want to be up in the pace.
Yeah, if you can't come off the pace, you don't think there.
Yeah, it's not as easy. Not because there's no uphill finish around. They don't really tire. They just keep going right in front.
Do they? Yeah. Keep going all the way to the finish.
Yeah.
And what stall sort of position are you looking there? Is there any bias to that, or is it?
It just depends where the stalls are, really. If you get the stalls on the far side and low numbers up the rail, sometimes they come into the middle if it's soft ground, and if the stalls are on the stand side, then you're better off being high numbers on the stand side rail.
Trying to get on the stand side rail.
Yeah.
So is there some faster strips of ground there, or is it just because the rail guides the horse down there a lot better? Not
really. I think just sometimes you just drift into the middle. Just seems to be the best place to come up, really.
Does it? Yeah, straight up. And it's a 1 mile 4 furlong circuit. Have you done any of the longer distance races?
Yeah, I've had a few over the long distance. Yeah. It's a bit rigider on the back. You have to keep them balanced, and there's a bit of a road around the back.
Does it undulate a bit round the back?
Yeah, it undulates a bit.
Just gently, isn't it?
Yeah,
fairly flat. And what sort of horse does well round Nottingham then, would you say?
I think a big galloper is what you need around there.
Big galloper, yeah. Even with that tight bend, because of the camber, you can still get them round okay.
You get them around all right, and you just keep galloping really. It's good. It's probably a front runner's track, really.
Is it?
Yeah, prominent runners anyway.
Even though you've got that long straight at the end, it's harder to come off the pace, is it?
Yeah, it's a very flat straight, like, isn't it?
Yeah. So once they're away, it's hard to
it's hard to
reel them back.
Yeah.